And finally, new rule, the person the world needs to hear from most about the attack on Salman Rushdie, the person with the strongest moral voice on the issue of Islamist-inspired violence, is Salman Rushdie. And the fact that he can't speak right now shows us that the wrong side won this round. And make no mistake, there are two sides to this. And no, they don't break down to Muslim and non-Muslim. There are many brave Muslims and many cowardly, stupid liberals. If all you can muster to say about this event is stabbing is bad and I'm against it, without looking at the reasons behind it, you're useless. And that just... And that describes pretty much the entire mainstream media. And here's where the tweets start coming at me. Hey, Bill, not every Muslim is responsible. Of course they're not. No serious person ever said they were. This is what's called a straw man argument, where a person doesn't engage with the actual points being made, but brings up a completely different point that was never being contested to begin with. If we are, for example, discussing how technology has made our lives easier, and I say, the smartphone is a wondrous device, and you say, so you support toddlers working in sweatshops. That's a straw man argument, even though I do support toddlers working in sweatshops. But the straw man argument has been used so often with this issue that I'm discussing here tonight that I thought, instead of letting straw man's misleading arguments go unrebutted, I'd invite him on the show. So please, a nice round of applause for straw man, ladies and gentlemen. See? There he is. There he is. There he is. I know. He does. And he's man-spreading. Stay there. Nice to have you on the show. I appreciate you coming. I hear you had a difficult flight. I know those overhead bins can be very uncomfortable. Anyway, there's someone I want you to meet. This is Silvia Fardos. She is the mother of the young man who stabbed my friend. When she was asked what she now had to say to her son, Miss Fardos said, I have nothing to say to him. She said, I'm done with him. Okay, that's a hero. That's courage. Silvia Fardos could have spewed the kind of Weasley crap we heard from so many faint-hearted writers after the Charlie Hebdo massacre. Nonsense about how those murdered cartoonists had it coming because they were punching down and, well, yes, a room full of corpses, but on the other hand, those cartoons were offensive. But she didn't do that. She had the guts to say, I give no quarter to people who think like that, even when it's my son. Now, am I saying every Muslim house is harboring a terrorist? No. What I am saying is liberals, instead of screaming Islamophobia every time someone points out the unique right that Islam demands to kill you if you insult their God, you should be supporting people like Silvia Fardos and the vast majority of Muslims who came to this country because they didn't want to live under this kind of thuggery and theocracy. Ms. Fardos said her formerly outgoing son returned from a 2018 trip to the Hezbollah-controlled region of Lebanon, returned a religious zealot and a changed man, which raises the question, what happened in Lebanon? Did he stay at the Holiday Inn Express? Am I saying everyone in Lebanon is a fanatic? No. But Hezbollah? Their idea of moderate is a hijacker with an emotional support dog. We can't have exceptions for violence based on religion. In a free country, we get to opine on religion or anything else without the threat of violence. And I'm not... And I'm not the bad guy for calling out excuse me, I'm still talking. And I'm precisely saying they're not all bad guys. Also, I thought victim blaming was something liberals hated. Why do their values always get turned around when religion is involved? Women's rights, gay rights, protecting children, separation of church and state, and free speech. Look, I don't know if you get to the theater a lot. But there was a show a few years ago. You probably remember the show. We all remember. It was fantastic on Broadway. It did very well. The Book of Mormon. You remember this show? It poked fun at the Mormon religion and even more offensive, had music. No. Let's not kid each other. Look, my friend, we both know what would happen if you tried to put on a show called The Book of Muhammad and poke gentle fun at Islam. And no, again, I'm not saying most Muslims would want to bomb that theater, but just as certainly some young man would. And saying so does not make me an Islam. Let me finish! Forget it. But Silvia Fardos, she's who liberals should be supporting. Salman Rushdie will survive because he's not a keyboard warrior, he's a real warrior. But I worry if this country's commitment to free speech will do the same.